sequencers or ARPs. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you press the button. And
It's just I never used those.
I'm gonna refrain from that. And it has bass pads.
Okay.
And
I like the
bass
pads in general, the
bass
new
pads
agey stuff.
often sound to me like leads, but they're different.
Are you a sawtooth or a square guy?
More into square sounds.
Me too. I'm a square guy.
Squares, I think, are more manageable.
Mm-hmm. Saws are just too synthwave, too intensely buzzy.
Yeah,
I like the subtlety of the
some,
square.
Some of the distortions, but
yeah.
the the square stuff is easier for me to compose with.
It's easier to fit into a song structure,
right?
Without dominating it.
Without dominating.
Yeah.
it. I'm very much the same.
Yeah.
Same opinion. So, but the thing is, I want to definitely layer some bass pads, some lead pads. But yeah, that stuff I'll figure out as I experiment with it. But yeah, I'm limiting myself. I know the main instrument is the Prophet. That's the synth that I'm drawn
Prophet 5?
It emulates a Prophet 5 or Prophet 6.
Oh man, I had an emulator of a Prophet 5. That was my dad's favorite keyboard of all time. Like he had the actual Prophet 5. Yeah.
They have a Prophet 6 now, and
really, is that a new thing?
Yeah, it just came out like a year or two ago.
It cost them over $1,000 to get that when it was like
an actual
in the 80s.
one. Yeah, I mean even now a Prophet 5 would cost you like $1,300. And that's not even including the power supply.
Yeah, I used that a little bit in some of my last records, the emulator of Prophet 5. I'm not sure if I used those on albums.
Well, that's the synth that I'm mostly. That's the one I'm mostly inspired by.
You know what the one I like is? It's not in this room anymore because I've cleaned everything out. But I had an Ensoniq SQL1.
Okay.
And
that's an analog.
Yeah, that was my favorite keyboard. My dad had that, and I played that for a lot of my old stuff between March and July of 2009. Then it broke, and I was just depressed until I finally picked up a crap Casio to kind of like fill in for it, but nothing was like that in Sonic, and it was so good, it was so customizable. But then later on, in 2011, I got an emulator of it, and that was my favorite. I liked that more than the Prophet.
Send me that name.
Yeah.
The Sonic.
Because the Prophet still seemed very catered towards like sawtooth sounds.
It can be, but
whereas Ensoniq was a lot more weird, somber, square stuff.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I'll send you that name.
See, I like really chimey, dreamy pads. That's kind of what
you'll get right in FL Studios with some of those add-ons.
the plugins. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to veer away from native instruments. I want to use what I have, and I have plenty.
Okay.
So I think.
Are you not gonna use guitar or real bass at all?
See, that's my big question.
You could probably get some nice use out of fretless bass and within this kind of, because it has a really strange sitar-like sound when you slide.
Yeah, I can envision it. I can definitely envision it.
Have you ever looked up on YouTube
Oh yeah.
Fretless.
Yeah, fretless.
Amazing.
Some of the coolest bass guitars that I know about there.
Especially
the guy
when you have
in Thank
5
You
or 6.
Sciences, he uses a fretless guitar.
Oh, I would like to get one of those.
Oh my god.
Weird.
And it's like a loud red with a yellow lightning bolt on the finish. It's so cool.
Nice.
But it's fretless, and the quality in his playing, it like you said, it sounds like a sitar, and I love it.
Yeah. Just hearing that slide happen, it sounds a little synthetic when it rubs the fingers across. It sounds tinny almost. It's very strange.
One thing I wanted to do, and this is kind of a tangent. I don't know if I can do it, and I'm really curious if I can. I have this modeler effect pedal. It's
modular.
It's a modeler.
Modeler, what's that mean?
And it models in amps and all sorts of guitar effects, like
you get like presets.
Yeah, well, not even it can if you want. You can set it up. You can dial in exactly what you want. It's the Line 6 HD 500.
So this like replicates different
amp tones for guitars and also delays, reverbs.
And you have this?
Yeah.
How expensive are these things?
I paid $500 for it.
Wow, that's what it seems like it should be.
But it's since there's a newer one, so it's outdated. Has
So
a
what,
loop,
yeah.
has a looper in it, but
What can you use it for?
I can use it for guitar, and that's how I've been using it for a long time. But, and it was the economic, as opposed to buying a different effect pedal for
Yeah,
each
or
thing and
amp.
making a soundboard. And it was before I actually bought my tube amp. So
Okay.
this was my end all be all, but it still always sounded digital to me, so I didn't really love it.
What's some way that you can use that in this project?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. And
Some
so
creative way of.
because I don't have an analog synth. If I had an analog synth, I can output that through the guitar
Oh,
effect
man.
chain, and I would come up with some really cool stuff.
How much
but-
would that cost though?
An analog synth? Ask your dad, thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So all I have is my MIDI effect keyboard.
I have a
So-
sampler. Wonder if
A
you
what?
could- I have a sampler that's specifically designed for live shows and ease.
Yeah, and that's what the MIDI
Experiences.
controller.
Okay, you can do
keyboard
that with that too.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the thing is, yeah, I can't render it through the that way.
Because of the outputs or what?
Yeah, because the output.
There's no way to.
It's a USB direct into the computer.
There's no
It's
way to get
actually-
some kind of thing to stick in there that converts it.
I'm thinking because I know there's a MIDI out on it, and I'm
There's got to
trying
be some kind of
figure
conversion.
to convert that
Yeah.
sound, but
There's got to be.
but the sound source doesn't come from the MIDI controller at all.
It comes from the computer software. Yeah,
So I would have to out that into. I don't know.
that'd be a lot of connections being made, but you might be able to come up with something. I
yeah.
say stick with that idea and see if you can. pull
See if I
something
can. I have to research. I have to do more research.
off. Yeah.
But what I'm working with now, like I play with it often. It's hooked up right now in my room. If I were to play it, I come up with something. But the Prophet, I love that sound,
Mhm.
and I think that would work really well. There are other ones on there too.
I'll
There's
send
a
you the
Plaid,
name of that one I like.
And there's a Hammond. It's called the Sonic.
And Sonic.
In Sonic.
ENSONIQ.
Was that the brand?
Yeah, and Sonic SQ1.
That's a good one. And it had a very distinct voicing too.
I liked it. I had the actual keyboard and it broke, so I just wanted it back so badly.
With that, did it have different patches and stuff? That I mean, could it have
Like how
various
many?
different voicings? Yeah.
Yeah, like 100 and something. I mean,
And they sounded very different from each
Yeah.
other. Okay.
and it had some really nice ghosts and was like, woo, you know, it just had really cool. I love the very somber, ghostly pads. Yeah.
Remember that seance thing I showed you? That seance
Yeah.
guitar patch? That was through that HD 500 effect.
Use that in this upcoming thing. This
Can.
project.
I can do.
Seance. Oh, I loved that.
And then also the Sovereign thing was also, that was a bass octaver. My guitar was sent through a bass
Okay, yeah.
octaver. That
Maybe that's what you should try to do. Like base it all around that seance guitar sound, and then have some kind of creepy pad in the background that adds depth to that seance. That's kind of like, ooh, like a troll sound on the keyboard or something.
It's hard to control. It's hard to get
Really?
your melodies out because it's so unpredictable.
Well,
It's
then
so,
layer the guitars, make one that is that, and then layer the intended melody over top of it, just so you still hear it no matter what. But subtly.
It'll still sound chaotic. I would have to mix it really well, but
Yeah, and have it EQ'd kind of. I don't know. I'm just thinking
What-
of some really creepy, almost dark ambient.
that's what it would come out like. It's
Yeah, but
exactly
still
like-
with a rhythm, which
Yeah.
would be pretty unique actually, because things that sound like that don't usually have a beat.
No, they just sound
Not
like,
even like Witch House crap.
Yeah, which I've never really listened to Witch House stuff.
You might like it.
Do you like it?
I don't know if I ever gave it a shot. I just saw all the look,
Yeah.
and I just.
What is the look? What's the aesthetic of it?
Well, I mean, a lot of them have names like crosses, where it's just like symbols, or
Is Crosses Witch House? Is it considered Witch House?
it might actually be a diminutive of Witch House. It might be something that kind of came out of that. A lot of Witch House bands do have crosses or triangles in their band name.
Interesting. It's kind of lame.
Yeah, when everyone's doing something, I mean, that's what happens. I want to read you more of what I had to say about the thing before, though.
Yeah.
Because I said, so ask yourself, is the point of to work to show off your talent, or is it to your identity, that
yeah,
stuff?
we know in terms of this project, it's not
Mhm.
so much about showcasing talent. I very deliberately,
Yeah.
I want it to be songs. Maybe if I come up with 8 songs. Is it smart to do that? To come up with,
To set up,
I want to have,
predesignate that kind of what you-
how many songs, how
It's
lengthy
fine
the
to shoot
songs.
for that, but you might also get 6 and say these are perfect. These are, it's not like you can't change your mind once you see what you got to work with. I say try to create like 20 and then
Dial it back.
and then cut it down to an EP or something.
Interesting. Interesting.
I wrote here, carefully observe how each of these end goals are associated with a different path. How common it is for people to take a path that outright opposes their stated end goals. For one such as myself pursuing the human, I would never reach my goal by pursuing the egoic path that fixates on sound and gear and performance quality. All of that is important, yes, but in my case, what was of greatest importance was that I respected each and every utterance as representing the truth of who I am, acknowledging that we are represented
Each and
as
every
more.
utterance?
What?
Each and every.
Yeah, everything that
utterance.
really came from me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Acknowledging that we are represented as much or more by the contents of our trash can than we are by our carefully selected outfit or choice of words. That's a very important concept in my world, and something I'm still learning, that we are represented as much or more by the contents of our trash can. And think about that. It's a very interesting...
Like literally. The
Literally.
contents within our trash can.
The things we say,
Toss
that
out.
doesn't fit with me. That doesn't fit with my idea of reality. That's not who I am. That is
These
who
the
we
things
are.
to embrace.
That says something about our identity is much or more than the things we carefully choose to represent us. Because often we're so quick to discard the things that scare us or the things that really resonate. And that's a...
See, I always thought the things that resonated with me were the things that I chose to resonate.
But often that's the ego saying, I want to be known by this. It's cool, it's cute. And
Right.
that's not us. And that's kind of what my discography was built upon. The idea that of bypassing the ego, which decided I want to make music to be cool or cute or attractive, and I wanted to be known for who I was, whatever that might be, and the way to bypass that ego was by not thinking about the process and let the unconscious mind do its thing, and that's really what that was all about. To understand this about myself, to understand that I was denying the exposure of the true existence through ego-funded selection, it was life-changing. Life happens and truth exists whether we approve of it or not, and I had to ask myself, what right do I have to pretend that an element of this existence within or without me does not exist? What right do I have to experience shame over that which I allowed happen?
I would think that I'd have total right over that. But that's probably the ego at play.
Yeah, it is.
The ego, for me, is very strong. Very strong.
I think that's the case for everyone who hasn't consciously tried to stifle and smother it. It's just the natural, innate way of being. Over-identifying with the ego. Over-identifying with what makes you feel good.
Right.
And the way you want to see yourself. And the thing is, we're not like that deep down. We're a vulnerable mess of complexes and all crazy things. But
Interesting.
But that was such an important concept to me, that idea that how, even outside of the art, when it just comes to being honest and open, being candid with people about who I am and where I come from, it's so creepy to me, the idea that something happened, something exists in your life, something shaped you, and yet you still have the ability to deny it or hide it and never tell anybody, and to act as if it never happened, something that did happen. There's something very scary about just that, the potential of that.
Disassociation. That's almost...
It's horrifying, and I'm so
It
afraid
is.
of that idea that you can just deny the existence of something true, just because you don't feel comfortable with it. And I've fought for this decade. I've fought against that, and I've made friends with the discomfort, the shame, in such a way that it no longer exists.
I always felt like that's so threatening. I've always found that extremely threatening.
As you should. I mean,
that discomfort, that can level me. That can.
I mean, I had to put in a conscious effort to. I had to reorient my entire image around just embracing that. I mean, all this stuff, Ten and Levy. I mean, even though that is based on my actual lifestyle, I was still very careful in how I presented that to the world in such a way where it kind of romanticized this really ugly thing, and.
But didn't it, in that glamorization, it kind of was...
It helped me accept it more. That was a way to kind of...
Wasn't it blown out?
Sweeten it.
Wasn't it embellished a little bit?
No.
No?
like that poster and
Yeah, it's
No.
very dark.
no, that was a candid shot that one of my family members took of me at the bottom of the stairs. That's why I like it, because it wasn't a pose. Like the picture on my album cover, it wasn't a pose. It was me just quickly testing out the quality of my sister's camera.
That's
No, I remember someone was gonna come down to do wash and they opened the door. I wrote about this on one of my things. I think it was even on one of the papers I gave you to read. They just opened the door up there and they're like, whoa, that's creepy. And they're like, what are you doing down there? And I just look at them like staring at stairs. Or something like that was like a pun, and I was just trying to be funny about it. But they're like, let me show you how creepy that looks with all your faces behind you and making the exact same face. And so they got a camera out and took the picture. And so that was just me sitting at the bottom of the stairs, just being a weirdo. That's why I like it, because there's no posing.
that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
See, it seems like you said earlier, like black metal.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's what
fit
they're
right
trying
into
to do.
yeah. And it's like even though my stuff is so far from
You know what that looks like?
What? Like a horror movie?
No, you ever see those like sleep deprivation studies and like those urban myths? I don't even know if
About like when people go crazy and start ripping each other apart
Yeah.
physically?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
know what you're talking
That's what
about.
that looks like.
I didn't know there was pictures associated with those experiments.
They are, yeah.
And it looks like those?
Yeah.
It looks like a creepy pasta, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, creepypasta. That's exactly
Okay,
what that
that's
is.
what that is?
Yeah, it's creepypasta.
I want that to be a means of how we advertise for ourselves. Generate memes and creepypastas and conspiracies.
I'm freaked out by them.
Really?
Yeah, especially
Stuff
that
like
one.
Slender Man?
Sleep- I don't care much.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
that's too
stuff that's-
mystical. The one
that's
about
what
the
I mean, I
sleep
guess.
deprivation chamber, that one is kind of.
I thought that was a
intense.
real story.
No, it's been debunked.
Where they're like ripping
It was
each other.
exaggerated.
They're
Yeah.
all like.
It happened in Russia in a bunker, and they were doing sleep
Yeah,
studies.
okay. My
they
sister's husband
gassed
told me
them.
that and I was freaked out. Okay.
It is freaky, but it's
Yeah.
been proven to be.
Okay.
There's no scientific data.
Well, it's not that far removed from
Yeah.
like the Stanford prison experiment. Have you heard of that? Where they took just normal, everyday people off the street, college kids, said they'd offer them $20 to take part in this fake prison experiment happening at a school. They sent like 10 off to be prisoners, 10 off to be guards, and it was supposed to last for a few weeks, like 20 days or something.
Only $20.
It was only like $20, yeah, and they had to cut it after 5 days because people had become monsters, and the power had gotten to them instantly, and they were being cruel beyond human means. They were just. And this is still me talking about like how I went about my thing. My work was never about showcasing my talents and abilities, but about sharing and memorializing the thoughts, emotions, events of my daily life. Truly, seeing as it was dedicated entirely to Anita, it was an attempt to be able to have her feel as though she was experiencing these years of my life alongside me. And eventually I saw this having a universal application. So like everyone gets to experience what it was like for me. All these people who didn't get to, this time of isolation, I want them to kind of, and it only worked because it was so authentic. So,
Although it's never one-to-one, your experiences will always be yours.
yeah,
You can come close.
it was an attempt, but yeah, I mean I do agree. But that was where my heart was at the time.
I understand.
Because I felt like at the end of this long dark night, I'd reunite with her, and I wanted to be able to say, this is why it took me so long to get back to you, and here's something to make you feel like you were there with me. And that's what it was. I mean, I never wanted this to be my main project. I wanted to do goofy pop duets with her, just things like matching outfits and jumping around on stage, being a moron. And I was really in love with the idea of people seeing like this crazy pop duo, and then finding out that I was in something else and being like, finding it very strange. Like, wow, this guy, he did some dark, tormented stuff before this, and they can't picture it any other way than what it is. And so, I always liked the idea that they'd be super surprised to find the Tenanubi project and see how tormented it was when they know me as this happy guy. That was my fantasy anyway. So I never wanted to show anybody my work or my life until it was a success story. So I guess that's something that's personally defined, though. I may not
we
have
talked about that earlier.
success. Yeah.
And what it inherently means.
And I mean, I don't have the health or the body I want at this point in my life, and
To be
and
Jennifer
who
Aniston.
knows if I'll get that. But I do.
You seem to be a little bit.
My mindset.
You seem a little bit more. I don't know.
Physically?
Yeah. I don't know if it has.
In what sense?
I don't
A
know.
little-
You
a
seem
little
more
more
lively.
free.
More free.
Since when? When are you?
I don't know. Probably since I've known you.
Okay. Yeah.
Very
I've
short amount of time.
definitely in the last just month. 2 months ago I was like a vegetable. I couldn't type. I couldn't speak. I couldn't walk. I'm gaining back slowly, and I'm very thankful for
Yeah.
that. But I think success, as I was speaking, my mindset is very.
Even you coming out to that goth night the way you did, and how we spent the day prior.
In what way?
So, I mean, we were doing a lot. I mean, I dragged you all around Burlington, go back.
Oh, yeah.
You kept it together.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pushing
yeah,
myself.
yeah.
It's a very weird.
Yeah.
It's about having faith.
I don't want to push you too far.
Oh, I wouldn't. I
But
wouldn't
I
allow
do.
myself to come into a situation where I thought there was a threat.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing myself harder than anyone else. So you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about.
And strange, but I'm pushing myself too. In a sense.
I can see you doing something.
Yeah. All too often. Even today, I was like, all right, Jim, but I have to go over there. I have to go over there. I can't just go home and vegetate. I can't just
Gym?
go home and let.
Or my house.
Oh, even
Gym, yeah.
going to the gym and coming over here.
Yeah, that sounds like a
both were
lot of stuff that you
processes.
jammed into a 2-hour period.
Because I worked and then Dad was like, all right, let's make supper together. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh. And I napped for a little bit.
Okay.
Came out, made supper, ate quickly. I was like, all right. I know I said I wanted to be there around 7. I might be a little bit late, but I'm gonna fit this
Why
work
didn't
out.
you tell me this beforehand, though?
No, because even going to the gym was a process for me. It's one of those things where it's like, I know I want to do this, and I know I want to do that, and the best version of me will get both accomplished.
Okay.
The worst version of me will sit here and just not and ignore everything and just completely let it pass me by. And all too often I've taken that road where I just stay
I know what you
home
mean.
because even the prospect of it is daunting, yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? No, that's not who I'm gonna be today.
Yeah.
It's not who I'm gonna be today. I'm gonna push through it.
Well, good
And
job
it's
on that.
difficult. I know. I mean, it's a very small thing, and
It isn't.
and it comes natural to other people. Other people
Because
can
who knows what that
overextend.
will lead to in your life, and it
Right.
can lead to the biggest achievements of your existence.
Well,
so
I
who's
felt-
to
I
say
felt like-
anything is small?
I also felt like today was even more like it was concise and it was very like
Yeah, I've been working on trying to
Yeah.
boil it down.
I like that. It's a lot of
I
refinement.
feel like we're about ready to go here. I'm gonna have. give
Well,
you your
let's
homework.
start with give me the homework and let's start with ordering the brain candy
the brain candy. Yeah, I'll order like 3 molds so we can do.
molds.
Three at
Where are we
one
gonna
time.
get the chocolate and stuff from?
We can just.
White chocolate.
We could probably just buy it from the store. We can buy like the little bakers.
I still want to do circus peanuts.
We can. But that's actually supposed to be like the hardest candy to make.
Really?
It's a process. It has to like sit overnight, and it has to. It's like the quiche of the candy world.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very tender. It was actually an accident. I saved a picture that I was going to send to you. Where is it? I had it on my phone.
An accident? The discovery of the circus peanut?
Not an accident, but it was like a. It was like let me see. Yeah, here it is.
Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms are created in 1963. John Allen.
It's
I
not the
mean,
internet.
chop-
That's just one picture.
After you chop the pieces of circus peanuts into
Yeah. It's not an internet. It's just a picture.
a bowl of Cheerios and fell in love with the flavor combo. Today the small marshmallow bits are called Margits.
Yeah. He was just like, yeah. That's
So
interesting.
he repurposed circus peanuts too. He was the first one to do it. We'll do it differently.
Yeah. He was doing it for himself. So, and that's how it always starts too. It's
But I don't even associate Lucky Charms marshmallows with circus
No.
peanuts.
I like Lucky Charms. Marshmallow's better, I think too.
I think I'm more of a circus peanut guy. That when you bite into it.
Wait, was that not even okay? That was not even about circus peanuts, so that's how Lucky Charms came about.
Yeah.
Okay, I had that backwards, but I looked up circus peanuts and that was on the page. So
Right.
okay, I had that backwards.
Yeah, that was on the page.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, man, circus peanuts. I wish we got some.
I haven't had some in so long. Just banana and strange and spongy.
It is so spongy.
Yeah.
It's so spongy. All right, I'm gonna roll out of here.
Okay, man. Yeah. Oh wow, it's 11:30.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually getting a little bit tired.
Yeah,
I don't know
me too.
what to utilize my. I don't know. Fuck. I'll take those.
Yeah. Well, I hope that works.
I'll let you know as soon as I get them.
Yeah.
This is probably what I'll end up messing around with a little bit tonight.
Tonight. Yeah.
I'll save music for tomorrow. I think that's realistic.
Okay. Well, you got enough opportunities for it in the week. Apparently, it says the
Yeah.
mock-up schedule.
Can you send that to me
I will.
now? Like
Yes,
right
I will.
now.
Sure. And I'll send you the rest of it later.
All right,
The document.
sounds good.
It's
Yeah.
nice hanging out, man.
Me too.
I feel like we're really covering ground.
I think so too. I think once we start getting off,
Yeah.